with your host Chuck Stevenson. We're going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a review for two fights in one. So we're going to Melbourne, Australia, UFC 243. First up in the flyweight division, Yeon Kim taking on Nadia Kassem. All right, first things first. Kassem comes out, goes to touch gloves, and then sucker kicks Kim with a teep kick. Okay, first of all, that's dirty as heck. And second of all, if you're going to sucker someone, why would you use a teep kick? Anyway, it didn't work because she drove Kim back, but then she went running at Kim with her chin straight up in the air. Kim just, boom, right with the right, knocked Kassem down to the ground. Kassem got back up. First round mostly consisted of Kim chasing down Kassem. Kassem trying to keep the distance with kicks, rarely throwing any punches. At one point, they did clinch up, and Kassem did get a nice little hip toss in there. Didn't really do much on the ground, and Kim was able to get distance and get back up. And then more of the same of Kim chasing down Kassem. Kim basically throwing the same one or two combos. It was either 2-1 or 2-1-2. Really throwing heat with all of them. Second round, a little more of the same. Kim was just chasing down Kassem. Kassem trying to keep distance with the kicks. Not really doing much offensively at all. I'm not really sure what Kassem's game plan for the fight was. Towards the end of the fight, probably within like the last 2 minutes, Kim gets Kassem up against the fence. Lands a nice hard right that stuns Kassem. Her mouthpiece falls out. Kim starts to pour it on, and the idiot referee stops in the middle of a flurry to put Kassem's mouthpiece back in. And the look that you saw on Kim's face said it all. Like, what the heck were you doing? Like, seriously, what was this ref doing? You never stop in the middle of a flurry for a fighter to replace their mouthpiece. That was dumb. I mean, Kim possibly could have ended the fight right then and there. But they go back at it. Eventually, Kim chases Kassem, gets her back up against the fence again, just starts unloading to the head, and you can kind of tell that Kassem was not in it anymore. But the ref wasn't doing anything. Kassem started to turn away a little bit. Finally, Kim lands two thunderous right hands to excuse me to Kassem's midsection to just fold her over. And the referee stops it at 4 minutes 59 seconds of the second round for your winner by TKO, Yeon Kim. God, I love body shots. They're so underrated in MMA. Next up was at featherweight, Megan Anderson taking on Zarah dos Santos in her UFC debut. Now, Dos Santos comes out very aggressive and starts tagging Anderson on the chin. But Anderson keeps calm, keeps her composure. She gets backed up against the fence. So she starts clinching, turns Dos Santos around. Eventually gets Dos Santos to the ground and gets them out very easily. So Anderson has Dos Santos flattened out on the ground in mount. Very nice. She's staying low. She's not posturing up too much, just landing punches, landing some nice elbows to Dos Santos. Eventually, Anderson does posture up to start unloading, and Dos Santos is able to buck her off. But as they transition to Dos Santos being in Anderson's guard, Anderson throws up a quick triangle. And one thing I found a little interesting was that Anderson left her right arm inside the triangle. And I don't know if that was for more leverage, if that was something that just had that little extra squeeze in there. Not sure what it was. But Megan Anderson getting the tap out in the first round, defeating Zarah dos Santos by first round submission due to triangle choke. Nice win there for Megan. So, things to work on. For Yeon Kim, I thought she did a good fight. She her boxing was working for her. She just kept walking through the kicks. I'd like to see her, try to time her opponent's kicks a little better so she's not eating them so much. Other than that, she had a good fight. As for Nadia Kassem, she's probably done in the UFC, and frankly, it'll be good for her because she's just not UFC caliber. You look at her record and the fighters that she beat before getting to the UFC, none of them had a winning record. So, at best, she should go down to Invicta, try to improve there. At worst, back to the Australian regional scene. I mean, she just needs to work on everything. And it didn't help that this was a fight between a former strawweight versus a former bantamweight. One thing Yeon Kim needs to work on, she obviously needs to get her weight cut under control or go back up to bantamweight. Now, she did ask for a fight in Korea in December. I can see the UFC giving it to her. I mean, that's one less plane ticket they have to pay for. In Anderson versus Dos Santos, I thought Anderson played a very smart fight. She basically did to Dos Santos what everybody does to her. Took advantage of a very weak ground game, used it against her. As for Dos Santos, maybe not be so aggressive right off the bat next time. I don't know. I mean, really didn't get to see much from her. Enough to really say what she needs to work on. Not surprised by either win. A little surprised Anderson got a submission, but not surprised by either of the fighters who won. Anyway, that's really all I have for this one. Sorry for the phone in the background. Anyway, let me know what you thought about the fights in the comments down below. Likes always appreciated. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Hit that bell for notifications. We'll see you next time.